This couldn't have come at a better time for the San Diego Padres. We've got a Yu Darvish update, and it's the first good one to have in a while. Let's talk about what that means for the Padres and everything that's going on. What's happening, everyone? Christian Pedersen back with another episode of Padres Digest. This is the part of the show where I do the stereotypical YouTube thing of asking you to hit the subscribe button. If not, no worries. Let's go back to talking about baseball. Here's the latest news that I've got for you. Darvish throwing a game as of us recording this that just ended in Lake Elsinore, maybe next day or two, depending on when you end up watching this. But this is recent news. He throws 14 batters, and his arm did not explode. This was all a successful mission accomplished. There's a lot more to talk about, but the here and the now of the most pressing news that I have for you on Yu Darvish is that it is a positive step. He threw to 14 batters. He one walk, 6 strikeout. He didn't get absolutely smashed around. He didn't look. It was not a step negative in any way, shape, and form. To recap for you guys where we kind of are with Darvish, spring training. He leaves with an arm issue that gets kind of put in the gray zone of like, no, he's not out, but he's not quite ready on a throwing program. We're getting him there. He had a minor league start before where he looked good, but then just said he didn't feel right and he didn't feel like he could sustain and do high-level baseball multiple starts in a row for the San Diego Padres. They shut him way back down. He in the subsequent weeks has started to gear back up again, but always saying that he was trying to get to a point where he could sustain it and do it. So it hasn't been an issue of whether or not Darvish has his stuff. It's just how much and how consistently of the stuff are we going to be able to get out of him. So he is back. He is throwing. This is the second time we have seen him throw, quote unquote, in 5 days, which would be a normal MLB rotation. This one from June 20th of him being sighted at Petco Park. And granted, this is not fully game speed, but it's it's throwing balls, getting the body working. You could technically say that this, combined with what we now are just seeing here, makes for 2 starts in a rotation, and we should have a little bit of a sample size now. That I don't think this means we're going to see Yu Darvish right away. This doesn't mean that based off of these 14 batters, he'll be in the lineup tomorrow or in the rotation tomorrow. But I think that we now have 2 intervals that if we get a third one, we're talking about a real data set here that is scientifically significant, that we can base a little bit more realistic expectation off of when Darvish can return. It falls on all sides of the spectrum, so let me know what you think in terms of, I still think the general consensus is that we need Darvish and we would like Darvish, but how much and how badly do we need Darvish, depending on how much are we getting out of Darvish, is a question that's kind of up in the air. I'm not in any sense saying I am of the camp that we don't need to rush him back. If it's the All-Star break, if it's September, if it's October, whenever we get him back, I want him back, but I want the best Yu Darvish for as long as possible. And if that is the team getting to the All-Star break and then unleashing him, or if he's ready to go now, let's rock and roll. But I'm just kind of like, if he's not quite at 100%, I'm happy for him to get a couple of positive steps, but things are going okay. We're hanging in there. Like, let's not risk a further setback. Let's just get him healthy to the point where he can stay healthy for the rest of the season and be a regular contributing member of the back end of that rotation. We've got other videos on like Michael King and the other injuries with Bogaerts and all that kind of stuff going on. And I'm not ignoring that there are problems and spots to fill, but I think in aggregate, if you're talking about what this team looks like, if it makes the playoffs, we want Darvish as part of that rotation. So I'm of the camp, let's not quite rush him back. But these numbers are, to me, incredibly positive in the 2 categories. That A, they're good numbers. 1 walk, 6 strikeouts, 3 hits, 3 innings, 14 batters. You'll take that at any level of baseball. That's a good day on the mound. and that it's like I said, it's 2 times in 5 days. So let's wait 5 more days and see if we get one more minor league rehab start. And then maybe the window opens of getting Darvish back like mid-July. But then like that's post also. We're also, I think, maybe not all realizing, or maybe I'm just having the epiphany in real time here, that this season is now kind of like we're into this season. This is no longer the start of the season. So if he is back in 2 weeks, it is around the All-Star break anyway. So just, yeah, let me know in the comment section where you're at, because obviously it's redundant and idiotic to say that more pitching the better, yada, yada, yada. And so we want the more pitching. But at what, like, how much emphasis do you place on us getting Darvish back? Is us getting Darvish back at 80% in 2 weeks like the low-key sleeper for fixing this team? Does getting a little bit more consistent veteran starting presence leadership, even if he only goes 7-4 or 6-2 or something like, or 5-5, or like maybe if he does something mediocre like that, but the ERA is low and his present, maybe there's all sorts of that I'm not factoring in here, that just having him back at any degree is a positive. So let me know what you think. But for right now, the news is, I think, coming right at the perfect time, because at the very least, we can start to factor back in, hopefully, based off of this, is that now we're going to wait with bated breath for a day or two to hear if Darvish gets shut way back down. But I think unless we see way shut back down, the next step is they're going to have to, like, they're going to try him again one more time. And that's just, I'm trying my best right now to manifest positive vibes, I think, is what I'm doing here, is putting it out into the universe that we're going to get Darvish back. That's going to have a trickle down of taking just a little bit of pressure off the starting rotation, younger guys, as Vasquez, Kolek, and Berger is going to be back. We got a video breaking down his injury recovery. He's going to be fine. We can get Waldron up there in the mix. And again, we start for the first time in a few weeks to talk about a rotation that is no longer, oh, we got our 5, but if anything happens, like we might have to call Kyle Hart back. Like, we don't have to do that. If we get Darvish and there's this, there could be a whole other positive side there. So let me know in the comment section what you think. And like I said at the beginning of this video, if you could hit the subscribe button, it would be much appreciated. We got tons of content coming out, and it is only going to be more and more as we get closer to the trade deadline, then the playoff race, then the postseason, and then we'll have to talk about doing it all again, because hope springs eternal for the Friar faithful. We'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you again for tuning in.